Hi everybody, it's Judy and we are now on our fourth edition of Sunday Secrets from the Sewing Room. And I wanted to give you a quick update too on how the new shop is going. And first of all, I need to thank Kathy Schmidt, who came up and spent her entire weekend scrubbing slat wall and units and shelving to get everything ready. And I also want to thank Tim Fox and John Fox because they spent all weekend doing electrical work. And now the classroom looks absolutely amazing. You turn on the lights and it's like, bah, it's so bright in there and it's so cool. So I'm really excited about it. We're getting there. Teamwork makes the dream work, and hopefully we will get more done in the week to come, but it's starting to really look good. And if you go into the store, you're going to see that there are some things starting to come off the wall, so it's getting real now. So you'll see when you come in, some of the notions are now down, some of the smaller quilts that we can reach are now down. So, and we are getting ready to move. So I will watch our newsletter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that for our actual sewing day. So today, I'm going to talk to you about, I always have all these ideas and then something goes wrong and at the last minute I lost a ruler or, which is, if you ask the girls at the shop, is par for the course. If I put something down 2 seconds later, I've lost it, but today I want to talk about things in your own house or heirlooms or things that matter to you that you can make into quilt blocks and then ultimately into a quilt. So for instance, handkerchiefs, ties, dad's shirts, anything really. Anything that it might be a smaller thing that you want to make. T-shirts, quilts, those are something bigger, and I can talk about those later. But I wanted to talk to you about just little smaller things like corners of handkerchiefs with some beautiful embroidery on it, or your dad's flannel shirts that you just can't part with, or anything else. So for me, I'm doing a project. Hi, Libby. For me, I'm doing a project for my brother Roland, and he collects Crown Royal bags, and he has been saving these forever. So I would like to take the credit for cutting these all so incredibly beautiful into 4.5-inch squares. But the girls at the shop did that, so the staff. So to my brother Roland, if you are watching and you said you were going to, you owe all these ladies a drink, maybe of Crown Royal, I'm not sure. So he sent me all of these Crown Royal bags. Hi, Bethana. And with all kinds of different things on them, and they're really kind of cool. Some of them are really cool. Here's the standard purple. And then he has some that are black. I didn't know some of these existed. So anyway, he sent these all to me and he said, I'd really like a quilt. And I'm like, sure. So, because you don't turn family down. So when I got them, the girls in the shop in their downtime cut these all so nicely for me. And this is how many that I have. So what I did was I decided I wanted a bigger block because I didn't want the quilt to be too big, and yet I didn't want to have to do too many blocks. So I decided I'm going to take this 4.5-inch and make it centered and then build a block around it with just regular cotton fabric. So, and again, you can do this with ties, with shirts, flannel, it doesn't matter. So what I first started doing when I did these was I started cutting a whole bunch of 4.5-inch squares, and I thought, I'm just going to make a 9 patch. And and put the Crown Royal bags here and there, and then I decided, it's just got really boring. So I cut several colors. I cut some purple, and I cut some gold, and then I cut some green. And I happen to really like these colors together because they really stand out. So I started doing just a 9-patch block, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, where I did the Crown Royal bags in the corners and in the center. So nothing great, nothing exciting. And so I did it where there was 5 Crown Royal bags, and then I did it so that there were 4. So still all 9-patch blocks. And then I did it in different colors, in different ways. And then I just thought, oh my gosh, this is just so boring. And quite honestly, it was just as tedious because, you want those corners to match up nicely. So then I thought, I had an idea of doing something a little different, and then maybe giving it some flair and putting them in the opposite corners and in the middle. And then finding another fabric to bring all of the colors together. And I was able to do that because I found this really, really cool batik that has the gold and the purple and the gold in it. So gold, purple, and the green in it. So, and I got the idea to make the square a little bit different because I was working on the Stargazing Block of the Month that's in the shop. So I loved how there were flying geese and corner sets. So I'm going to show you that. So then I made this block, and you can see I used all of the colors in that. And so I have flying geese here, and then a patch on each end, and then I just framed it. So how I figured that out was if I did the 9-patch and I was using 4.5-inch squares, then if I wanted to break it up a little and make this really the focal point with the flying geese, and you could do it either way, then what I could do is just cut that in half. So, and when you add your seam allowance, you realize that, okay, I need 2.5 inches, and then when you break it down with your seam allowances, you get your 4.5 inches. So then this block then comes out to 12 inches. But imagine how pretty that block would look if it was maybe your grandma's aprons, or it doesn't necessarily have to be, your Crown Royal loving brother's bags. It could be your grandma's aprons, or your dad's ties, or your grandpa's ties, or anything for that matter. The other idea that I thought would be really cute was like little baby onesies. If you had kept onesies from your kids, that would be really cute to put in the center too. But that's what I have going on, and I think that you can use anything organic from your house to make a quilt. It might be a pillow that you loved, but it's getting worn out, but you have enough patches that maybe you can make yourself a small throw, or anything. So again, one of the things to remember though, when you decide what it is that you want to make, is make sure that if it's not stable, see, these are pretty stable, they're not stretchy. So one of the things that you want to remember is the stretch. And if it is stretchy, just stabilize it. And I like to use something called Shapeflex 101. So because it's not going to wash away because it's made out of cotton. But think about the things that you have around in your house. And honestly, all of these fabrics were scraps that were in my stash. And when I say my stash, my staff calls it the warehouse. And batiks also are a nice way to blend things, and it just makes it really, and solids will make everything pop. So those are things that you can really blend together. So anything you have around your house is a scrap of fabric. Any scrap of fabric is a block. Any block is a potential quilt. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for coming. And today I didn't drop the camera, and I didn't make you dizzy, and I didn't flip all over the place. So, yay. I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.